He lost everything until he finally understood God's plan. It started with a man who had everything. His name was Daniel. He wasn't famous, he wasn't rich in the way the world defines it, but he had something many people spend their entire lives chasing: peace. He had a loving family, a small but stable business, a home filled with laughter. Every morning he would wake up, sit by the window with his coffee, and quietly thank God for another day. Life wasn't perfect, but it was good. And then one day, everything changed. It didn't happen all at once. At first, it was small. His business started losing money. Customers stopped coming. Deals fell apart at the last moment. Daniel didn't panic. He prayed, "God, I trust you. Maybe this is just a test." But things didn't get better. They got worse. Within months, he lost his business completely. The same people who once respected him stopped answering his calls. Still, Daniel held on to his faith. God has a plan, he told himself. But then life hit him again, harder this time. His child fell sick. Doctors couldn't find the cause. Treatment didn't work. Days turned into nights inside a hospital room filled with silence and fear. Daniel sat there, watching, waiting, praying. "God, please, not this!" But the silence from heaven felt heavier than ever, and then he lost his child. That was the moment something inside him broke, not just his heart, his faith. He walked out of the hospital that day, not as the same man. He stopped praying, stopped believing, stopped hoping. "If God is real, why would he do this?" he whispered to himself. Days passed, then weeks, then months. Daniel became a shadow of who he once was, until one night he met an old man sitting alone outside a small church. The man looked at Daniel and said something unexpected. "You look like someone who's angry at God." Daniel froze. "How would you know?" he asked. The old man smiled gently. "Because I've been there." Daniel sat down beside him. For the first time in months, he spoke. He told him everything: the loss, the pain, the silence. And when he was done, he asked the question that had been burning inside him. Why would God take everything away from someone who trusted him? The old man didn't answer immediately. Instead, he asked a question. "Do you know the story of Job?" Daniel shook his head. "He was a man who had everything," the old man said. "Family, wealth, respect, faith." Daniel looked down. "That sounds familiar." The old man nodded. But then, he lost everything, not because he did something wrong, but because his faith was being tested. Daniel frowned. Tested? That sounds cruel. The old man leaned closer. Not cruel, purposeful. He continued. Job questioned God. He cried. He suffered. But he never completely turned away. And in the end, God restored everything he lost and more. Daniel stayed silent. But here's the part most people don't understand, the old man added. It wasn't about what Job lost or what he gained. It was about what he learned. Daniel looked at him. And what was that? The old man smiled softly. That God is still God, even when life doesn't make sense. Silence filled the air. For the first time in months, Daniel felt something. Not happiness, not peace, but understanding. The next morning, Daniel did something he hadn't done in a long time. He prayed. Not for answers, not for miracles. Just, God, I don't understand, but I'm still here. Days passed.